Okay, so this is going to be a quick tutorial on how to make lentil soup. This is my mom's recipe and it's delicious. So what I've done was I got about a pound of, these are the French green lentils, and I soaked them overnight in cold water and then I drained and rinsed them. So those are there. And then I chopped celery, about 3 stalks of celery pretty finely. I chopped 1 onion also fine. I diced it fine. I have about 3 carrots here. I have 2 cloves of garlic, which I'm going to mince. And I have a half a can of tomatoes. They're whole peel tomatoes. And then I chop them up so that it's not big tomatoes going into the broth. And I have my olive oil, salt and pepper, and my water. And we're ready to go. I'm going to put some olive oil in the pot. And I kind of cook like my mom, and we don't really measure, but that's a few shakes of olive oil in the bottom of the pot. And we're going to put in the celery and the onions to start. I have the heat probably actually I want it on medium. And I might need to lower it down a little bit just to, I'm just going to soften up these vegetables a little bit. Okay, I have to grab my wooden spoon, which I forgot. Okay, so we're going to leave this cook for about 10 minutes. Okay, so my celery and my onions have been cooking for about 10 minutes in olive oil. I added a little bit of salt. I had some of the Himalayan sea salt. And now I'm going to add 2 cloves of garlic. This is probably the only kitchen tool that I use. I do like it for the garlic because it's just so easy to get nice small pieces. Nobody in the family likes chunks of garlic. So I'm going to add, these 2 cloves. And I'm just going to mix the garlic in, and that's going to cook for about another 30 seconds. So just to recap, it's about 3 stalks of celery, a whole onion, both chopped fine, 2 cloves of garlic minced. We have about 3 tablespoons or more of olive oil. Don't be afraid to use the olive oil. And we have salt, and I didn't add pepper, but you can add pepper if you like. Once this garlic is done cooking for the 30 seconds, I'm going to start adding in the rest of my ingredients. I'll start right now. We have 3 carrots that I chopped. You want to put them into pieces that will fit on the spoon when you're eating the soup. I can add in the lentils now. These French lentils are good because they keep their shape. They don't fall apart. There's the other type of lentils, which are like the brown lentils. Those kind of fall apart after they've been cooking in the soup for a while. Here I'll add my tomatoes. Okay, this is half of a 28-ounce can or 14 ounces of tomato. And I'm going to add, this is my homemade stock, chicken stock. And normally I would add about, I would say about 4 cups. So we're going to add this. Don't be afraid of using the fat, because remember, the fat is not as bad. It's not bad at all, not like you've been told. So, and it can be very healing for people that need that. And certainly for people on the GAPS program. Okay, so that's the stock, and I'm going to add a little bit of filtered water, maybe about 2 cups. And I'm going to leave my water on the side. If the lentil soup doesn't seem like it has enough liquid going on, I can always add a little bit more water. So now what I'm going to do is bring this soup up to a boil just for a minute, and then I'm going to lower it down. I'm going to simmer it. I'm going to simmer it for about 45 minutes. Sometimes it takes longer. I'm going to taste it. I'm going to taste the lentils, see if they're tender. Maybe taste a carrot, see if that's tender. Another thing I like to do with lentil soup is to add fresh basil, which I don't have right now, or Trader Joe's sells the little cubes of chopped basil, which I also don't have. So I think I'm going to add a little bit of dried basil, and also if I have the rinds of Parmesan cheese, I put that in there, and it really makes this soup absolutely delicious. I actually don't have that now, but it would be great if when I do have it, I definitely add it. So I'm going to bring this up to a boil, cover it, and we'll check it again when I think it's done. Okay, so the lentil soup has been cooking for about 45 minutes, and I just wanted to show you that I did say cover, but I do leave the pot open just a little bit to let some of the steam out, and I have it on low. And this is the kind of simmer you want it at. You want it just a very light little boil. So it looks good. I did add some dried basil because I didn't have the fresh. You can also add a homemade pesto to it, which would be delicious, but that flavored it nicely. And I did taste it during cooking, and I did add a little bit more salt. The salt is going to be to taste, but you definitely have to add salt because or else it won't have any flavor. Just as a side note, you can use this practically the same exact recipe for pea soup. You would soak the peas, and you would use the same vegetables. You could add a ham hock if you want when you're sauteing the vegetables to give it flavor. You would add the peas, the broth, the water, and you would bring it to a boil and simmer it. And the peas might take a little bit longer though. This has been cooking for 45 minutes, and this appears to be done. One other side note is that I generally use 95% organic ingredients when I'm cooking at home for my family. But occasionally, like with the Italian tomatoes, those are not organic, but I trust the source, it's a good product, and I just use organic whenever I can get it. And that's about it. The lentil soup is done, and I think you'll find it delicious, especially if you can add in a lot of fresh basil and the Parmigiano Reggiano rind if you happen to have it. And that's it. Enjoy. So to make this lentil soup even more nutritious, what you can do is you can buy a bag of organic baby spinach, or you can just buy spinach, the regular spinach, and chop that one up, or use the organic baby spinach leaves and just take a couple of handfuls, stir it in just minutes before you're going to serve it, and they'll wilt down, and that will make this really nutritious. Or you can use some type of sausage, any type of sausage you like, but maybe a nice chicken sausage, and you can cut it into pieces, and you can you can put it in your bowl and then spoon the lentil soup on top, or you could even mix it in to the lentil soup and cook it with that if you wanted to.